Hi viewers, there were two things that inspired me to make this video, one of which was the drop in silver price, and the other was a video by JM Unleashed, which got me thinking about all the past hobbies I'd had and what they'd cost me. He had a little radio controlled car, and I remember having radio controlled cars, and I moved on to helicopters. Oh, talking about radio controlled, let's see the radio controlled turd. And my usual bit of fun there. I haven't got any helicopters or cars or anything. Well, I got this one, the radio controlled turd. Anyway, it got me thinking, to how much money I'd actually spent on some of these hobbies. And radio controlled cars, I didn't have many, but I spent a bit on them, and I progressed to helicopters because they were far more fun, harder to control and everything. Obviously crashed them, lost them, broke them, upgraded all the time to more expensive ones, and eventually thought, this is ridiculous, I'm spending all this money on new rotors and blah blah blah. Find another hobby. Thousands. Anyway, going back even further, previous hobbies, which I'm sure many of you will relate to, cars. I used to, well, I still do love cars, but car shows and spending money on cars. I literally must have spent tens of thousands on motor vehicles. Now, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it, and that's part of a hobby, isn't it? A hobby is something you enjoy, but there are obviously hobbies that are financially beneficial to you, and others that aren't so beneficial. Another hobby I had, which was related to the cars really, was I used to see little corgi cars, and these aren't corgi, but on the secondary market, fetching good money. And these are actually old vintage. Most of my viewers in the US won't know what Lipton's tea is, but my UK viewers might. Horse-drawn carriages. And I thought, well, if they're fetching good money now, obviously these are older, before I was born, rather I might add. So I thought, well, maybe, die-cast model cars will do well. And so I started collecting them. Always got a car for my birthday, or when we were out somewhere, and I thoroughly enjoyed collecting them. But I mean, what do you do with them? You just look at them, they're just there for display. Well, you can open the doors, I suppose, now and again. But you can't really do much with them. They are just a thing of beauty. And I kept all the original boxes and hoped that they would go up in value, like the corgis or the older model cars. But no, these have lost value. Like I don't know what. I'd be lucky to get £5 for that now, and it probably cost me 25. But okay, I got enjoyment out of doing it. But another thing that I spent an absolute fortune on was cameras. I've been a keen photographer since I was 12, and I've spent thousands on cameras. And of course, as soon as you buy them, they're out of date, aren't they? And you got to have the next model. But the point I'm getting to is, the one hobby that really doesn't lose value. Okay, there are obviously other items that become collectible, I can't think of the names of them. There's probably Lego things and stuff that's become collectible, but there's no guarantee it's going to become collectible. But the one hobby that's, always held its value is silver or gold. And now, obviously, there's a 1987 ASE, and obviously, bullion coins are obviously quite popular at the moment. But many of these other coins from around the world are also really seen as a bullion device. Their price is dictated by the market price, the spot price, and obviously some of them have a collectability value on top. So there's such a vast array of choice with silver coins, for you to get into as a hobby that will pay you back. And in reality, I find collecting these things just as enjoyable as taking photographs or model cars, or it's a hobby with a return value. And that's really, the point I was trying to get across, that, there are so many hobbies out there that I could have spent less on, and if I'd have spent a little bit less, I could have bought myself, an Austrian Thaler 20 years ago or whatever for probably a few pounds. And now that would be worth considerably more, Yeah, so I thought I'd share a few non-bullion silver coinage with you. Coins, it's the Spanish 5 pesetas. Obviously, you've all seen the Mexican non-bullion coinage. And like I say, these all tie in with, well, not all of them, but a lot of these tie in with spot. You've got the French Hercules. I think this one is the 50 francs, yeah. Obviously you've seen the bullion version of these, but this was the original 5 shillings, the South African Springbok, King George. Obviously you've probably all seen the British crowns, and of course you've all seen the Canadian Voyager dollars. And many of you probably seen the Panama Balboas. Beautiful design, that one. I've got a few of them, nowhere near enough. The Venezuelan 10 Bolivares. Don't know whether many of you have seen that one. Of course I would flip it the wrong way, but this is a very unusual incuse design. And last but not least, the Mexican. I've done the Mexican. This is the Japanese. It's the heat. It's very hot today. I'm blaming the heat. This is the Japanese 1,000 yen Tokyo Olympics, 1964. That one obviously does have a bit of a premium attached because they're quite collectible. But anyway, the algorithms for YouTube lately have been absolutely, and I'm really not getting the views that I used to. And and I'm thinking, is it worth the effort of getting all this stuff out and setting up the camera and lighting and everything when you're just not getting the views? So if you like the content, give it a thumbs up, share it. I don't normally ask, and my channel isn't monetized, so I'm not getting any money for producing these videos for you. You can support the channel, of course, by buying one of my silver testing slides from one of my distributors, UK, US and Canada. And I will unusually post a link for my UK eBay seller in the description. But obviously I have them in the US and Canada as well. And that's one way of supporting me, and obviously supporting yourself by avoiding fakes. Let's do it in the light so you can see what it's doing, facing the light. Nice slow slide down the slide. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. And the final word from Mr. Turd. Bye.